So a lot of the videos I've been posting recently have been of big dogs. Well, here we got this fun little Yorkie. And just because of his size does not mean we're going to treat him any different. So what are we going to do first? We're going to work on some engagement. We're going to build a good working relationship. I want to get a good foundations with this guy to start conditioning him to when he notices me or when he's paying attention to me. That's the right decision. And he's going to get something good for it. I want him to prefer to pay attention to me and start to just ignore other things around us. Why? Because we've got some reactivity, specifically some leash reactivity. So what I've seen from him is he's been also triggered when in a stressful situation and he feels leash tension. So on the other side of this camera is a dog, and you can see just how focused he is even at this distance from the dog. And he feels that tension, but his response to it is, I'm going to dig in so I can keep staring at this dog. But here we're conditioning that choice. Hey, when you come to that leash tension, you get something good.
Now this is super important. Do not start yanking on your dog's leash or applying leash tension unnecessarily when you're in a stressful situation and your dog's about to react. That's just going to trigger. That's how we got into this mess. What we're doing is we're counter conditioning that. I'm far away. I've got a ton of space. And when he is seeing a distraction and I'm using leash tension, I can counter condition and I can reinforce an alternative behavior of actually coming to the pressure of that leash to get a reward instead of reacting to it.
And he plays in the house really well. But you can see outside, he just doesn't play. And that's what his parents tells us. Now, why is that? Well, there's just other things to focus on. Whether they're enjoyable or not enjoyable could be stressful. But he is more focused on everything other than me. So a big thing I want to get out of this guy is to also loosen up, engage with me enough to play, and boost that toy drive in him. And if we can do that, we have even more of a rewarding activity, not just even using food. We can use this toy drive to our advantage. We're also building a basic understanding of that place command. This is always going to be something that we're doing early in training so that we can teach our dogs to stay in one spot and have the self-control to ignore their impulses of just even moving around, especially our high energy dogs. But for him, I just want this as a basic so that we can also work on any reactivity in the house. So he's a little hesitant getting onto the place board. We're just working on marking and rewarding any choice that he has. Even when he first smelled it, we mark, we reward, and then lo and behold, he ends up getting the courage to get all the way on. And we're practicing the route to this place. Hey, every single time I'm bringing you here, I want you to touch it. I want you to engage with it. I want you to get onto it all the way. And he's kind of hesitant at first. So you see us, we're working on a short leash. So when I start a place command, and especially if I'm even working on engagement with dogs, I'll start on a short leash. But if I want to then get away from using that leash guidance, I'll switch to a long leash. Because then it's really their choice, or they're really following your body language and not just the tension of the leash. But don't just start out with the long leash. Sometimes we'll start out with the long leash because it's a better option. They have more freedom to make choices. In this situation, though, I just want to make sure that I'm at least building up a good understanding of the behavior before I give him too much freedom. And this is a perfect example of what we want him to do. Look at that dog coming right there. Forget about it. And don't also go towards it. Yes, come to me. Come to me because I'm shifting away, or my body's moving, or you feel that leash tension coming to me. That should be your prompt to ignore it, or just, you have a choice. You're either going to pay attention to me and what I'm doing, or you're going to pay attention to that dog. Every time you pay attention to me, you're going to get rewarded for it. That's counter conditioning. And that's his choice. I didn't even use leash tension, but I used my body to move. And then we ended the day and we got some really good playing in. And now it's a quiet area, not much is going on. This is after a couple minutes of trying in this quiet area. So this is the recipe for his success. We're going to start to figure out how to get him out of the house and playing, get him out of the house and ignoring the distractions around him, and then starting to add him into situations where he's going to be tested with that reactivity. Fantastic.